Welcome inside the Simplified Technology Solutions Intermission Report. The Austin Bruins taking on the Minnesota Wilderness here on this Sunday night. We'll go ahead and get you the recap of everything from the first period. But before we do, let's take a listen to an interview I did earlier this week with Bruins netminder Hudson Hodges. Hodges, a Minnesota native, talks with me about his career in high school at Moorhead, where he won the Goaltender of the Year award, adjusting to the NAHL game and how it compares to high school, and what this COVID season has been like for a goalie, including playing with two other goalies, a total of 3 goalies on this Bruins roster, as well as his first NAHL win last month against the Bismarck Bobcats. Take a listen. TJ Chillot, Hudson Hodges here with you on the Simplified Technology Solutions Intermission Report. And Hudson, you're one of the newer guys with the Austin Bruins in terms of goaltenders. You're the shortest tenured guy anyway. This is your first year after playing an entire, what did you play, 3 seasons with Moorhead with the Spuds? Is that right?
Yep.
Okay, so you played 3 seasons with Moorhead. You were honored with the Frank Brimsek Award last year, which is given to the Goaltender of the Year in Minnesota State high school hockey. Playing at such a high level last year in high school hockey, how does that translate to the junior hockey game for a goaltender now that you've gotten your chance and you've gotten your feet wet here in the NAHL?
Yeah, playing at that high level of high school was, I think helped make this transition a little easier. The transition has still been like tough, adjusting to the speed and the shots and the plays that these guys are able to make compared to high school. My teammates and coaches have been very supportive and helpful in helping me make the transition as smooth as possible.
How about the living situation? Because obviously one of the big differences between high school and junior hockey is the fact that you're not living at home and you're not going to traditional classes and things like that. Was there a little bit of an adjustment there for you as well?
A little bit, yeah. Right away in the beginning, it was kind of hard, like not being in my own bed and like not waking up and seeing my brothers and mom and family each morning and my dog especially. But the billets here have been very welcoming and have made the switch a lot easier.
Have you found yourself able to find that routine and get comfortable now, coming from a billet home and going right to practice at a different rink? Have you found yourself that little niche and that little comfort zone?
Yeah, I definitely have found a comfort zone there, and it's like, it's made it good, made it a lot easier to be here, finding that comfort zone, I suppose.
When you talk about a game day, or let's just go with a practice day, since today was a practice day, what does your routine look like? What do you do on any given practice day to get ready for the day? Usually
just show up an hour before, do some light stretching, nothing too like serious, or I'm a pretty simple person. I don't know.
You don't get too worked up. You don't get too, too strung out and just kind of too tense.
Yeah.
Do you think that helps you on the ice? Because I know I've come across a lot of goaltenders who sometimes there's a little too much going on between the ears, and that could kind of hurt their game. Do you think the fact that you're a little more relaxed, a little more laid back helps you out?
I think so. Yeah, I try to stay pretty like lighthearted and mentally like not so like tough on myself, and I think that helps a lot in games and in practice.
And when we, sticking to this theme of routines and being laid back and kind of having to just deal with whatever curveballs the game of hockey or the situation that's going on in the world throws at you, how tough has it been for you in this COVID year that we're in, with games getting postponed and games getting canceled and having to spend 16 days on the road in the Dakotas and things like that? How difficult has that been on you as a goaltender?
I wouldn't say it's been like too difficult. I guess it's been frustrating having the games get moved and canceled and all that jazz. But I think we have a pretty solid group of guys here who's made this season special and has made playing through COVID and everything a lot easier and not so mentally like frustrating.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, when you look at the Bruins roster, carrying 3 goalies this far this year, is that anything that you've ever experienced before? Is that something new that you and Tyler and Zach have kind of had to get used to, having 3 goalies in the room rather than just the standard 2?
I've personally never been on a team with like 3 goalies, but it's tough this year with a lot of teams not playing. And I mean, having 2 other guys on the team that you can really relate to is nice. And you can help each other out a lot more. There's more like feedback, I guess, you can get from your teammates, from your goalie partners, I suppose.
You bring up a good point, because it's very true in the diversity in terms of the experience with you three guys. Obviously, Tyler Shea in his second year, he's considered the veteran on the staff. And then you have Zach Hansen, who played a handful of games with the Bruins last year. It was only 4 games, but then spent the rest of the year in AAA. And then you coming up from high school hockey, a rookie, much like Zach Hansen as well. So you kind of have a good balance of experience there. Does that make it competitive for you guys on the ice? Are you always kind of, hoping that this is going to be my game to start and I'm going to maybe ride that hot streak and get a second start in a row? Is there a little bit of a level of competition there?
Yeah, there definitely is a little competition, but at the end of the day, whoever gets that spot, you're supportive of them either way. Practices are a lot of fun, and most days are pretty good days, and the competition is high, and we're all competing pretty hard for that spot. But like I said, when the roster comes out or when coach lets us know who's going that night, it's like a go do your job and do it good, and we'll support you through it all.
And I was going to say, you get that support, you get that just that good team atmosphere from everybody else around you. And I want to look back to the Bruins' most recent game before this one here tonight against the Wilderness. It was the game all the way back in December on the 12th against the Bismarck Bobcats. Your first win in the North American Hockey League. Congratulations on that. I want to talk to you a little bit about that game, because the Bruins were out in front for about, 55 out of 60 minutes there, 3-0 lead. And then all of a sudden it became a 3-2 game. Walk me through that third period and what's kind of going through your mind, and were you going, as Bismarck started making that push? Ultimately, obviously, things worked out for the best, but what were you thinking in the moment?
Right before Bismarck started making that push, I was just kind of thinking to myself, like, man, I really want to get this goose egg. Like, a shutout would be super cool. And to get my first win and have it be a shutout would be cool. But Bismarck started making that push, and it was kind of like, okay, you need to be ready to like keep this switch turned on and be ready for this push by them and do the best you can to keep the puck out of the net. And they scored, the 2. And then it was kind of like, man, I really don't want to lose this game. I really want to win this game. And the defense did a good job of shutting it down there. Once I got those 2, it was kind of a little nerve-wracking, but I just did my best to stay calm and to do my job the best I could.
It's an interesting shift in mindset there. In a span of just a couple minutes, you're going, I'd really like to get this shutout, to, oh man, I just want to win this game now. All of a sudden, when things got real tight, going back to earlier in the interview, you talked about how you're more laid back and relaxed. Do you think you leaned on that part of your personality to just kind of just breathe, Hudson, just breathe? You're still up a goal, still got just a handful of minutes. We'll get through this.
Yep. That's good. It's about exactly how I was thinking through things in that moment.
I want to talk to you. You're one of the Minnesota natives on the team. You and Zach are both Minnesota goaltenders. When you talk about, Moorhead and being from East Grand Forks and things along those lines, how important was it to you when you were picking where you wanted to go, or where you got picked where you wanted to go in the NAHL? I can't quite remember what it was for you, but how important was it, and how happy were you that you were at least going to be staying in the state of hockey?
That was kind of special to me, being able to continue to play in Minnesota, because I think Minnesota is a super special place to be playing hockey in. Especially having multiple other guys from Minnesota on the team is pretty sweet. And I love playing in Minnesota. It's always a great atmosphere.
I'm not going to keep you too much longer here, because we got to get going. The intermission is winding down. We're getting ready for the second period of action. TJ Chillot here with Bruins goaltender Hudson Hodges. And Hudson, I'm just going to ask you one more question. I think this one's going to be a little bit easier, but now that you've been here in Austin, you've been in southern Minnesota for the entire duration of this 2020-21 season. What are your initial thoughts about the Austin Bruins, the Austin community, your billets? What are you just feeling as a junior in your first year? Is it working out to exactly how you expected, and are you having as good of a time as you had hoped in junior hockey?
Yeah, I didn't really know what to expect coming into junior hockey. I had a couple buddies who back home had played junior hockey, but I never really asked them what it was like. But junior hockey has been super fun, and going to the rink and hanging out for a couple hours with your teammates makes it super fun. And the billets have been great, making the junior hockey even more fun. And like I said, I didn't know what I had to expect coming into this, but I've really enjoyed it, and I've really enjoyed my experience here. The Austin community as well has made it super fun. I'm with the limit of fans that we get at games, they still get pretty rowdy, and it makes it super fun to play here.
Yeah, you're going to experience a traditional North American Hockey League game, I think, hopefully in the near future once limits open up, and both not only here in Austin, but elsewhere in the rest of Minnesota as we go through. So Hudson, thank you so much for your time here. Next time when you get out there in that blue paint and you get the start, go get that goose egg. But congratulations on your first NAHL win.
Yeah, thanks, TJ.
All right, we'll talk to you soon. That was Bruins goaltender Hudson Hodges. Stay tuned. Simplified Technology Solutions Intermission Report continues after this.